As the Dallas Mavericks beat the Miami Heat tonight, we're talking about 16 out of their last 18 wins. And we've talked about the Mavericks before on this channel and about how it's been very inconsistent. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been injuries to deal with. And there was a transition period until we got to this point where Luka and Kyrie have now felt like they've played long enough together and figured out how to be Superman and Batman, or dual Batman or dual Superman. I don't care what you want to call it. It's just working, and it's working really beautifully. And I think it's going to be interesting. They have now clinched the spot, the 5 seed, to play against the 4 seed Los Angeles Clippers in the first round. And remember, Paul George had some nagging things going on. You never know how the James Harden, Westbrook, Kawhi, Paul George experience is going to go in the playoffs. We know the Clippers always seem to fall short, and I think this is a perfect time for the Mavericks to face a team like that, when the Mavericks are as hot as they can be, and they have 2 superstars. I know that the Clippers have 3-4 stars, but the Mavs have really 2 stars that are unbelievable players, and they are meshing together. And a guy like Luka especially is in his absolute prime of the prime right now. Like, I mean, he's going to probably keep going up, but he's not past his prime, is my point, where I feel like a lot of the Clipper stars are at the peak of their prime, like going downward. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm very excited about it. Couple things. The Mavericks today, with their win, they reached 50 games, despite some of the ups and downs this year, despite the injuries that were, dealt with throughout the year. They reached 50 wins. And Kyrie Irving earned $1 million incentive for playing 58 games, and the Dallas Mavericks winning 50 games. In NBA language, according to Grant Afseth, this was deemed an unlikely incentive. Irving and Camp said, "I wanted everything that was structured in my contract incentive-wise to be based on production." And he produced, and the team produced, and I think they're shocking a lot of people right now. They are a team that I'm rooting for. As you can see, I'm wearing a Seattle Sonics hat, right? And if you watch my videos before on this channel, you might be a returning Maverick fan. You might be somebody new. I, every year, tend to start picking a team during the playoffs and during certain runs. Now, I'm a Sonics fan, but they don't exist anymore. I was born and raised in Seattle, and so I kind of base things on who I like. And, I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so I do like the Suns, but right now, my favorite team has to be the Dallas Mavericks. I love Luka Doncic. I love what Kyrie's done this year. I feel like a complete different perspective and type of person this year than people thought he was at the end of last year. They thought he was a distraction and not able to, keep his mouth quiet or whatever people want to say. He's been perfect. Like class A citizen. And he never was anything else before, but people just thought because he spoke his mind, he was some bad distraction. He's been as perfect as a teammate as you can ask for, perfect as a citizen, as perfect as a guy in the community. This is what the Dallas Mavericks signed up for when they wanted to bring Kyrie back and sign him, and they made the right choice, and it looks like he made the right choice. 50 wins, the 5 seed. It's quite impressive what they've done. And tonight against the Heat, you just saw how balanced it can be with those 5 guys. Jones with 12 points, PJ Washington with 12 points, Gafford with 12 points, and then Kyrie with 25, 4 and 3, and Luka with 29, 9 and 9. And that's what this team is. Kyrie's averaging 25.6, 5 rebounds, 5.2 assists, shooting 50% from the field. Can't ask for much more. And Luka, on his end, is averaging 33.9, so essentially 34 points per game, which is first in the NBA, 9.2 rebounds, which is 16th in the NBA, and 9.8 assists, which is second in the NBA. So he's first in scoring and second in assists and top 20 in rebounds, and he's shooting 48.8%. And he's 25 years old. Let's not forget that. Luka Doncic is 25 years old. He's ascending right now. He is, this is why you want to capitalize now with Kyrie. Kyrie's 32, and he's had some injury history, so you got to knock on wood. But this is his time. This is Kyrie's time to get another ring, or this is his time to get beyond another competitive team, while Luka's just going to continue to ascend. At 25 years old, this is pretty amazing. Now, I'm pulling up the net rating on everything, and for those that don't understand net rating or don't get what it means, is essentially you have a team rank and an opponent rank in a stat, and the net is the two combined. So the Mavericks, there's some good signs, there's some interesting signs that they got to work on as the playoffs come, but they're 9th in points in net rating, so 5th in scoring and 20th in their opponent's scoring. They are 2nd in personal fouls. It's pretty good. That means they get fouled more than they foul. 6th in blocks, 4th in turnovers. So they're 4th in their turnovers, and they're 14th in what the opponent, what the defensively. So 4th in turnovers is great. Now, they have 5 categories in the Reds, which is steals, assists, rebounds, so offense and defensive rebounds. That's something that's going to have to be worked on in the playoffs. I mean, you're going to have to face Jokic. You might have to face AD in the Warriors. You might, AD in the Lakers. You're going to have some situations where there's some big men out there. And being 25th net rating overall in rebounding is not going to cut it. True shooting percentage is at 11th. They're 3rd in three-pointers, or 4th in three-pointers made. 12th in field goal percentage. 13th in three-point percentage. Free throws, I'm not too worried about that. But you can see that block, turnover, points is really good. It's the assists, steals, and rebounds. I'm not too worried about the assist. You have Luka and Kyrie. They need the ball to score, and that's the type of team they are. They have 2 guys that you're going to have to depend on a lot of times to try to score as many points as humanly possible. And that brings me to the point of that's why I think they have a chance. Can they beat the Timberwolves, the number 1 seed as of right now? Yes. And when you're watching this video, if it's an hour or two from now, I'm currently watching the Wolves Nuggets fighting for the 1 seed right now. So one of those two. I'm going to skip the Nuggets for a second, defending champs. Oklahoma City Thunder, can they beat them? Absolutely. Can they beat the Clippers? Yes. Can they beat the Pelicans? Yes. Can they beat the Suns? Yes. Could they beat the Kings? Yes. And then the 9 and 10 seeds, the Lakers and Warriors. Can they beat one of those teams? Absolutely. The big question for me is, can they beat the Nuggets? And I actually believe they're one of the few teams that actually can. And the reason behind it is the volume of scoring that they can produce. Okay? I think they just genuinely could outscore the Denver Nuggets. And I don't think there's many teams that can do that against the Nuggets defense, against just the Nuggets in general, and the great coaching, the great teamwork they have, they have good team defense. Everything about the Nuggets screams a good team, right? When they're all full healthy. But if there's one team that I genuinely think, just volume scoring with guys like Kyrie and Luka, that they can just take it to them, right? Push it down their throat and score more than they can. Let Jokic score 40. The rest of you guys have to show up, but Kyrie and Luka are just going to put up 35 in a big playoff game. Kind of like that LeBron Kyrie times, against the Warriors when they would put up 78 combined or 85 combined together. Both scored 40 points in an NBA Finals game together. Kyrie and Luka could possibly do that. And that was, when I mentioned that LeBron Kyrie thing, that was like, 2016? That's almost 8 years ago. These days, it's even more likely to have a guy like Luka put up 38 and Kyrie put up 38. High volume scoring. I know it's reduced. I'll give Adam Silver credit. He made some type of phone call midseason and reduced this. But in general, it's possible in these day and age. It's possible for Kyrie to get hot for one half, Luka to get hot for one half, and they have an average half each on the other side, and they both put up 35-40 in a game and beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. I think that's their biggest scare of an opponent when I go down the list, though. The 2 that scare me the most are the Denver Nuggets, and the 2 top seeds, actually, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, simply because they're a big team, good defensively. I don't know how it's going to work out against the Wolves and the Nuggets. But those 2, when I say they're my 2 biggest worries, the most important part looking is what I just said. When you look at those teams, can they be beat? And I think the answer is yes. If you ask me with the Pelicans, right? So this is the big difference. I wouldn't say that's any team. Mavs at the 5 seed, I say yes. Pelicans at the 6 seed. Can the Pelicans beat the Nuggets? To me, it's an absolute no. I just don't think. Can the Kings, if they get in at the 8 seed, can they beat the Nuggets or Wolves? No. They're going to lose in the series. They lost Malik Monk. I think they lost Kevin Huerter now. I can't remember if he's back or not. I just don't think they can. Can the Mavs? Yes. Everybody that's going to be in the playoffs, the Mavs matchup-wise, their skill-wise, their ability to score-wise, they have a shot to beat that team. And they have a shot to beat the Wolves or the Nuggets. Obviously, you got to get through round one. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk by any means at all because the Clippers are a good team. But I'm saying they're all possible. Please, I beg you, please like and subscribe if you like my videos. I'll be doing a lot of Dallas Mavericks stuff here in the playoffs. I'm doing all NBA teams. But I think I'm going to have a little extra Maverick stuff coming for you on the day-to-day here as the playoffs kick in. I can't wait. Please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. It does a lot for the video. And I'll be back next time. Peace.